With Harvest's invoicing features, you can accurately bill your clients and receive payment for your team's track time, expenses, and fixed fees. This video covers the topic in detail, so feel free to use the chapters feature to skip around between sections. After tracking billable hours with billable rates set, you can pull those actual entries onto an invoice, send it to your client, and receive credit card or ACH payment, all right within your Harvest account. The Invoices module is optional and can be enabled or disabled by an administrator under Settings. You can create a new invoice right from a project's page, from an uninvoiced report, or from the Invoices tab, where all existing invoices are managed. Each invoice is for one specific client. Free-form invoices are great if you want to manually invoice an amount not associated with your project data. To pull actual Harvest project data from your account, such as track time and expenses from time and materials projects or total project fees from fixed fee projects, choose to create an invoice for track time, expenses, or fixed fees. In addition to single invoices, we also offer recurring invoices that are automatically generated on a set schedule. For now, let's just talk about creating single invoices. You'll see a list of all the projects for the client that have an uninvoiced billable amount. Notice that archived projects are still available for invoicing if they have an outstanding uninvoiced amount. By archiving, you can lock a project from having further hours tracked, but still get paid for the remaining balance. Here, you can streamline billing by including multiple projects for the selected client on the same invoice. Let's go ahead and include both a time and materials and a fixed fee project on one invoice. Time and materials projects are invoiced based on your team's billable hours multiplied by those hours' rates, plus billable expenses. Fixed fee projects aren't billed by hours and rates. Instead, they're invoiced by their total project fee. More on that later. For time and materials projects, you'll choose a time frame to capture the specific hours you want to include on the invoice. For example, you can invoice all billable hours that were tracked last month. From there, we offer 4 ways to display time entries on an invoice. By task combines all entries for each task into one line. By person and by project combine all entries for each teammate or project into one line. Lastly, the detailed display puts every single time entry on its own line. If you choose that option, you can also choose which details to include. Because each entry is shown individually, this is the only display option that will include time entry notes. After choosing a display mode for hours, you'll do the same for any billable expenses on both time and materials and fixed fee projects. The display options are similar, except that expenses can be grouped by category since all expenses are tracked to an expense category. You can also choose to attach a detailed expense report here, which will include any receipt images your teammates attach to these expense entries. Finally, if you have a retainer set up for the projects you're invoicing, and you collected payment upfront through a retainer invoice, you can apply those funds to the new invoice you're creating here. This step of invoice creation is the only time retainer funds can be used. Once you've made your selections, you can review the draft invoice. A unique invoice ID will be automatically suggested based on those that have come before it. Invoice IDs can include client-specific codes, use the current year, or fall into an account-wide sequence. Here, I'm using a client code. Several invoice settings, including default values that automatically populate on all invoices, the displayed labels for various fields, and even your company's logo, can be customized under Invoices, Configure. Remember how I chose the detailed display for this invoice? Each time an expense entry is shown on its own line, and you can see all their details, including notes. You can manually edit the description for line items however you'd like. This won't affect the actual entries. For a line item in the detailed display, the quantity is the number of hours for this particular entry, and the unit price is its billable rate. Editing quantities or unit prices for entries on time and materials projects will not alter the actual entries or their billable rates. So, editing these on an invoice could mean the billable amounts on projects don't match what you've invoiced, leading to confusion. So, be mindful when considering making those types of edits. Now, let's look at invoicing a fixed fee project. Expenses will be pulled in according to the display mode you chose. The fixed fee is brought in as one line item, with the full uninvoiced total project fee shown in the unit price column. Clicking Show Project Context will display any project notes that were entered on that fixed fee project, along with insights into previously invoiced fees. If you edit the unit price of the fixed fee line item, only that portion of the project fee will be invoiced for the linked fixed fee project. The remaining total project fee will be available next time you invoice for this project. In this example, the total project fee started at $5,000. I can see in my project context that I previously invoiced $1,000, which is why the remaining $4,000 was pulled onto this new invoice. If I change the unit price to $1,000, the next invoice I create for this project will pull in the remaining $3,000, and I'll be free to edit that too. The item type for each line item will default to service for hours and product for expenses, unless you customize those for your account under Invoices, Configure, Item Types. You can also manually choose a different item type here. These item types are used to map line items when copying invoices to QuickBooks Online or Xero through our accounting integrations. To delete a line item, click the X next to it. The related entries will remain uninvoiced on the timesheet and available to be pulled onto future invoices. Notice you can also reorder the rows on the invoice. And even add free-form line items. Lastly, if you've connected your account to Stripe or PayPal, your default online payment preferences will be shown. You can also configure those preferences for this particular invoice. Once you save the draft invoice, all time and expense entries included on it will be marked as invoiced and locked from editing. The linked line items will show on the Invoices tab of project pages, and the project's uninvoiced amounts will be updated. You can then send the invoice off to your client and have peace of mind, knowing that all your reporting in Harvest is accurate and payment will be on its way soon. For more information, check out our Help Center or reach out to our support team.